When Adlet was young, he lost everything. His family, his home. Torn apart by the claws of fiends, that kind of loss, it doesn't heal. It hardens. So he disappeared into the mountains, into madness, into the hands of a man who forged pain into power. He didn't train to be a warrior. He trained to be a reckoning. Now the boy they broke walks forward as the man who won't bend. Traps, poisons, gunpowder, science laced with vengeance. Adlet endured the harshest of trainings because for him, strongest man in the world wasn't a boast. It was a mission. And today his journey brings him face to face with the one they call Flemmy, the supposed brave killer. A whisper on the wind, a ghost with a trigger finger. She stares down Adlet like he's her next bounty. The girl stared at him from top to bottom with a look of scrutiny. She had called him a coward, a scumbag, but also stated that he was rather infamous. This gave the impression that she knew of him at least. Adlet tried to explain, but she didn't seem to care for a listening ear.
It's challenging to portray yourself as a good guy when someone has a gun in your face and is literally called the brave killer.
Flamey introduced herself as the Saint of Gunpowder, before declaring that she didn't need any allies and wouldn't accept friendship. She then told Adlet to inform the others that she'd fight alone before vanishing into the wild. But Adlet was not one to give up on people, even if they attempted to kill him. He chased her through traps, through smoke, through misdirection. He eventually caught up, told her to quit running and join the rest, but she refused once more. She stated that joining the Braves would get her killed. She attempted to run away again.
He throws a smoke bomb like a ninja magician and yoinks her bullets. Gotta hand it to him. Mad respect for that move.
He eventually caught up and grabbed her satchel mid-run. He told her, "I don't care what you're afraid of. I'll protect you." Then he turned his back with her gun still pointed. He walked off like a man who already knew she wouldn't pull the trigger.
Of course. Homeboy had to double check though, cause let's face it, no one wants to get unalived just because they were trying to look cool.
Eventually she didn't pull the trigger. Elsewhere, Nachitanya and Goldov battle fiends. Goldov slices them down effortlessly. Nachitanya stands by doing nothing. They received the message Adlet had sent. Met another brave, I'm following her. Go on without me. Goldov's jealousy leaks through every word, but Nachitanya, she praises Adlet with a warmth that could melt steel.
Now that's some top-tier glazing right there.
Back in the wilderness, Adlet walked beside Flamey. He tried to speak, but Flamey told him to shut up. He noticed that her weapon managed to hurt fiends, whereas regular guns didn't. He noted that it was due to her being the Saint of Gunpowder, perhaps. She called him rash and pushy, telling him to go back to the princess. He said, "I'm not worried about her. I'm worried about you."
My boy Adlet is not only a certified brave, but a certified flirt too, dropping smooth bars even mid-mission. Talk about multitasking, is a one-man wrecking crew, taking on missions and charming ladies at the same time.
But Flamey doesn't budge. She continued to warn him, "Eventually, you'll try to kill me. Just make it quick." He brushed it off, claiming it was nonsense. They arrived at the edge of the land of howling demons. The sky was red, the soil poisoned. Mortals normally die in a day unless fate says otherwise. Adlet returned her satchel, no tricks, just trust. They find a fortress, its soldiers broken, its leaders gone. They met with Lauren, the first-class commander with the most chilled name in a war zone. He informed them of the Phantamal Barrier, a weapon against the fiends, waiting to be activated at a distant temple guarded by Saint Mora. The plan was for them to wait for all the others to arrive. Should any fall, they were to signal Mora before it was too late. Lauren showed them how the device worked, and they prepared to leave. On the way, Flamey told Adlet something only she would say. "Stop being nice to me, it makes me want to kill you."
This one has the strangest love language I've ever come across. And considering my track record, that's really saying something.
Then chaos. A spike flies through the air, but Adlet pushes Flamey aside, shielding her. It's Nachitanya and Goldov with weapons. They remained convinced that Flamey was a brave killer. They came not with greetings, but a judgment. Flamey looked to Adlet and said the words that sealed the moment. I told you they'd try to kill me. Go ahead.
If you're enjoying this recap, make sure to hit that like button. It's absolutely free and totally awesome. Also, don't forget to smash the subscribe button so as not to miss out on any new videos or updates. Oh, and make sure you hit that notification bell too.
The moment hung heavy. A blade, a gun, a truth that no one asked for. Flamey confessed, yes, she had killed Braves, 3 to be exact, 3 Braves. She did it all to awaken the demon god. The silence that follows Flamey's confession is deafening.
Man really said, she's chill, trust me. Nice vetting, Adlet. Seems like you've got some good judgment.
Nachitanya and Goldov once again rose their weapons. Adlet stood between them once more. He turned to Flamey then asking, was there a reason? She nodded her head, agreeing with the statement but not lying. But whatever truth she could bring, it didn't seem to indicate something malicious. He spoke now with a voice that has seen too much and trusts too easily. She means no harm. Not now. They decide to move forward. It seems that Nachitanya's smile dims a little as she watches Adlet's concerns circle Flamey like a silent orbit. Goldov? Definitely not blind to it either. Jealousy doesn't need any subtitles.
Wow, that's low-key savage. The guy really pulled Adlet aside and said, hey, what's the deal with the princess and you? You're just a big dude, that's it. Seems pretty lame.
The forest thickened, the sounds echo, not birds but wings. The fiends moved with a strategic mindset. They worked together, aiming a bombardment toward the group.
How did those flying lizards get their hands on bombs? Someone out there is teaching them logistics, and I gotta say, that's a bit concerning.
The group scatters, attacking and fighting the fiends off. Adlet broke away, rushing to the temple. There on the path lays a single body. The figure croaked out a warning and told him to continue on. The temple is locked. Adlet does what Adlet does, blows it up. It wasn't the cleanest option, but the door did open. Inside, hollowed knights, empty soldiers. The hollowed soldiers charged him like echoes with swords in their hands. But in the end, Adlet survived the encounter. The body he'd seen outside mutated and became a fiend. It growled a snarl before fleeing. A heavy fog appeared, thick and immediate. This fog was definitely not natural. This was the phantasmal barrier. The question is, who activated it? Inside the temple, a dagger glowed on the altar. Adlet had not activated the barrier, but someone definitely had. Later, the rest of the group arrived. They assumed it was him. He, of course, denies this.
Naturally, our guy goes full on peak productivity mode, cutting himself, bleeding on the floor, chanting some random nonsense, and voila, not a damn thing happens.
Nachitanya snaps, grabs the blade, then swings wildly. She broke the dagger's base and threw something into the air. She didn't act like herself. She was unraveling. Flamey tried to calm her down. That's when a mysterious voice appeared, small and soft and barely a whisper. It was dangerous. The voice belonged to Shamot Rosso. She was the Saint of Swamps. He introduced her as the most powerful saint since the Saint of the Single Flower, then added that he was #1 in usual Adlet fashion. Shamot's full attention was on to Flamey now. She called her the brave killer and would be killing her without trial. Shamot was about to pounce, but someone entered and stopped her in her tracks. It was a woman. The woman was identified as Mora Chisiter, who had the title of Saint of Mountains and who was the leader of the Heavens Temple.
Let's hit pause for a moment. Can you please rewind this just a little bit? The Chesters are definitely making quite the scene. Seem to have a lot going on, that's for sure.
Pardon my co-anchor, he wasn't raised properly.
I'm just being honest, you know? Can't be the only one noticing these things. I'm sure others are noticing this too. It's kinda hard to miss, if you ask me.
Mara scolded Shamot, keeping the young saint in check. And then it happened. A 7th brave arrived. His name was Hans Humpty.
Hey, just wondering, isn't this whole thing about 6 braves or something? I mean, that's what the brand is all about, right?
Exactly. 6 marks, 6 destinies. But now there were 7. Everyone showed each other's crests and everyone was confirmed to be authentic. The question is, who is the fake one amongst them? Who the hell activated the barrier? Who the hell is hiding behind the truth? Out of the 7, one of them does not belong. The mist won't clear, the truth just won't rise. And one among them carries the lie. So, before this whole mess turns into straight-out betrayal and bloodshed, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to AnimeFreakTV.
Oh my goodness, my excitement is at an all-time high. Things are about to get incredibly interesting and downright suspicious.
From here on out, trust has basically become a blade, and someone is most definitely gonna bleed.